The Super Eagles, they fell everybody's hands, let's be very honest, right? They
not
played
so
in
super.
Abuja, CAF AFCON qualifiers. They were sitting top of the group, having played 2 games. And their third game against Guinea-Bissau, they ended up losing 1-0. And their manager came out and said, after the game, he said, stars will not win you the game. Like big names, it's not big names that win games. But I beg to differ. It was not about the big names that we had on the pitch. It was more about the management of the Super Eagles side. Jose Posero has not won any game since he's become coach of that side. 5 games. Remember that Portugal game that he played before Portugal went to the World Cup? Embarrassing defeat, massive defeats in just very weird, just awful results so far. And then he's gone on and lost to Guinea-Bissau in Abuja. I believe if the NFF is serious, they should let him go immediately.
Honestly, because the Nigerian squad was stacked with players, and even if it's not just the current squad, if you have a good eye for players and you're a good coach and you understand footballers, you'll be able to look at there are so many Nigerian options out there that they can call to the squad. So if you've not won in how many games? Oh, no.
With our beloved sport, football, it is the international break, and I feel like that's why Shopsy decided to take a break from the show.
Probably. He said, I need a break as well.
Right? It is the international break, but the biggest news from the weekend was last night's club report from Tottenham Hotspur that Antonio Conte has, mutually terminated his contract with Tottenham. And now Tottenham are searching for another manager.
It didn't actually feel so mutual because it felt like,
fire
me, guys.
Of course, because the rants that he went on during that press conference, after that press conference, you could just see it. The guy wanted to be sacked. He's been coming up with all sorts of excuses over time. And then that day, everything came to a head. He blasted the players, blasted the management of the club, and now this is the result.
It's actually really worrying for Spurs because if Conte cannot fix you, if Mourinho cannot fix you, I mean, who else?
That's true. That sort of puts things in perspective for Tottenham fans. Like, this is a manager who, in his first season at Chelsea, he won a Premier League trophy.
All right.
Right? He has won, the Italian Serie A a couple of times. Serial winner, but I mean, his record in Europe is dodgy.
Yeah, well, it's not easy. His
record in Europe is dodgy, but this is a manager that should have at least done something with Tottenham squad. He had a good season. His first season was not that bad, but this season everything seemed to have just.
I think Tottenham as a club are just not that great. Maybe it's the management or how they actually choose the players that come into their team. You don't know how involved Conte was involved in it. So I just feel they need to restructure as a club.
Yeah. Restructuring as a club might be the way to go for Tottenham, because I remember having a conversation with a couple of guys, in the office here. Tottenham Hotspur have other avenues that they're making money from, right? The stadium hosts NFL games. The stadium is a masterpiece, and they're using it to make money. They're involved in other kinds of businesses within the sport of football and in and around the stadium. So I feel like they're not really focused on winning trophies. It's pretty much Manchester United fans can see a parallel between themselves and Tottenham in a way, because it's pretty much the same issues that Manchester United fans have with their ownership and focus on winning trophies and whatnot. It feels like Tottenham, their ownership does not really.
Yeah, as far as the money is coming in, they're okay.
So talking about that Tottenham Hotspur squad, we're looking at who will take over from them. I mean, from Conte. As time goes on. For the moment, the assistant manager, right, the guy who handled Tottenham Hotspur, the first team during the period when Conte had that surgery and all that. That guy had a pretty good. He had a good run. Right.
Yeah.
A few draws, a few wins. It was a bit better than what Conte was doing. Before he went on that break. So he's going to handle the club till the end of the season at least. But the two main names that we're hearing are Julian Nagelsmann and Mauricio Pochettino.
Pochettino again.
Right. I mean,
I actually think that's the best option for them. Honestly,
Pochettino?
Yes, Pochettino.
Why?
He understands the club, he understands the players, they love him. I don't know if he loves them, but I like to believe he loves them. So I feel like if he comes back, he almost feels like he has something to prove, and they have something to prove. With Nagelsmann, I don't know. I know he's a great coach, but coming to Spurs that don't have the DNA for winning. They might not back him with the resources. He might just end up not having the best career. It will affect him, it will affect Spurs. I think they should go for someone that has done it before and understands them.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Nagelsmann himself had a relatively, by many standards, a good run at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
But the bar was set a little too high for him.
Yeah.
Right? They're currently sitting second in Bundesliga.
That's killing them.
That's killing them.
What, second?
This is the Bayern Munich side that has won the Bundesliga 10 times in a row at some point. So them not being there
for 1 week.
Nah, they couldn't take it. They couldn't take it. So Bayern Munich have actually announced Thomas Tuchel as manager, and I feel like that's interesting because Tuchel made his name in Germany, came over to Chelsea, he did well in Chelsea as well, and now he's back with Bayern. I believe you would see Bayern become a beast because this is Tuchel that knows how to play German football. This is Tuchel that his style of play is made for German football.
Yeah, actually.
And Bayern Munich do have a scary side.
Yeah.
Beyond any
They have a deep squad. He'll be able to chop and change. He'll be able to select based on how he wants to play. And it's great that he's going to be facing Pep, straight.
Right.
I'm going to love that match.
That would be nice to see. That would be nice to see. So we'll put it out to the fans out there. That is the question of the day. Who should take over from Antonio Conte at Tottenham Hotspur? At the moment, we're not exactly sure who, but the front runners are Nagelsmann and Poch. Let us know in the comment sections, anywhere that you're watching this. Do not forget, Zinedine Zidane is also is not managing anybody.
Maybe because Tottenham is white, they're like, oh, I like the white stuff.
Right? So in the comment sections below, anywhere you're watching this, answer our question of the day. Who should take over from Antonio Conte at Tottenham Hotspur? Of course, should we do a prediction? I feel like it's too long a space of time.
There's a long, the season is still actually kind of long.
Okay, moving on from that, back to international football. The Super Eagles, they fell everybody's hands, let's be very honest, right? They played in Abuja, CAF AFCON qualifiers. They were sitting top of the group, having played 2 games. And their third game against Guinea-Bissau, they ended up losing 1-0. And their manager came out and said, after the game, he said, stars will not win you the game. Like big names, it's not big names that win games. But I beg to differ. It was not about the big names that we had on the pitch. It was more about the management of the Super Eagles side. Jose Posero has not won any game since he's become coach of that side. 5 games. Remember that Portugal game that he played before Portugal went to the World Cup? Embarrassing defeat. Massive defeats in just very weird, just awful results so far. And then he's gone on and lost to Guinea-Bissau in Abuja. I believe if the NFF is serious, they should let him go immediately.
Honestly, because the Nigerian squad was stacked with players, and even if it's not just the current squad, if you have a good eye for players and you're a good coach and you understand footballers, you'll be able to look at there are so many Nigerian options out there that they can call to the squad. So if you've not won in how many games? Oh, no.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because this is a Super Eagles side that, when we watched that World Cup and we saw how the quote-unquote smaller teams performed in the World Cup in Qatar, and we were like, oh, wait. If Nigeria actually went to this World Cup with the kind of squad that they had, with Osimhen firing on all cylinders, with Lookman, with Zaidu, in left back, with Ndidi, with Iheanacho, we thought that Nigeria would have done well in the World Cup. But see what they're playing, see what they played before the World Cup, see what they're playing after the World Cup, and it's nothing to write home about. So I strongly believe that Nigeria, the Super Eagles, need a change in management very, very quickly. They faced that Guinea-Bissau side over in Guinea-Bissau today around 5 or 6 p.m. West African time. That will be, I believe, if they go on to lose that game again, it should be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it should be. And let's hope they don't.
I mean,
but even if they win, I'm still not encouraged, but I hope they win.
I mean, your Nigerian presentation will make you hope, but it doesn't look like they will. The team looked disjointed. If you did watch the game, you would see how poorly the team performed. Creation of chances, there were selfish players, Chukwueze, for example, and they were not creating enough chances for Osimhen himself. And it was just poor all round. But our very, very able producer, Jerry, went out on the streets of Lagos to ask fans what they thought about the match. You can take a look at that right now.
I'm highly disappointed. That's just what I have to say. I'm highly disappointed. It just looks as if the happenings in Nigeria is really affecting, the whole thing. Understand? So I'm just disappointed. That's just what I'm disappointed.
This kind of match, I'm not happy at all. I don't like what I saw in this match. The players, they are not even serious about it. I don't even know if it is what is happening in Nigeria is causing this scene. But all I know is that they try and amend our ways. Like this coach now, let them try and change this coach. That is number one. And number two, they try and bring more. Old boys, like old players, to bring them. These people are not matured here now. So at least that's what I have to say. We are not playing. We're not serious about it. We're not serious about the match. That's what I have to say.
My brother, in fact, I don't know what to say. I can't even explain what they played today in today's match. It's so terrible. I don't know if this coach has pattern. I don't know where they brought this man from. A man who has no football pattern, nothing, no skill. I don't know how we can be playing a football match at home and we cannot even get a point. It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Nigeria needs to, we need to buckle up. With this kind of match, we are going nowhere. You understand? Well, I wish them good luck in the next match. But this match is not impressive. People are not happy about it. No, definitely we would. I know Nigeria will scale through, but with this match, I'm not just happy. Not just right.
We can win if they are serious, but with this kind of thing I saw that they play, they're not try at all. They're not serious with the match. Look at Osimhen, look at what he's doing. He's even afraid of kicking ball because this is not Italy. This is the Nigeria. He's afraid of kicking ball, so they're not serious about the match. That is it. But seriously, maybe the team they're not serious. They're not a team. They're not a team. They're just doing their own team. They're playing for something. So that is it. Thank you.
From the look of things, I would like advise the NFF to bring in our old boys into this team to assist this coach because I think he lacked tactics. You understand? I don't see why they will exempt Ikechoromu and Finidi from the team. These guys are playing like even home base are better off. You understand? There was no pattern, no charisma, nothing. The shooting is so poor. The strikers were so useless. The midfield, the coordinations were poor. You understand? So I think they should bring in our old boys to assist this man if we need a better result next match. Well, let them just come back stronger, and also I think the teamwork is really lacking, you understand? So by the time they come back together, let them work on their teamwork. So the teamwork is very, very important. Without that, I don't think there will be any winning.
Okay, welcome back. But sticking with local football, sticking with Nigerian football, something interesting that struck my eye over the weekend was Sporting Lagos. I remember there was a day randomly, myself and Yas met each other at the Sporting Lagos game. I was like, this guy, what are you doing out here?
Wait, you won like 50K that day, right?
I won bar, I won cheddar.
Oh, right. I was just there like, what about me? That was a great day, actually.
Right.
They played well. It was a nice atmosphere. Yes. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that's something that we're trying to look at, and that's something that we spoke about before it came on air, how well the club is managed. The Sporting Lagos side is one of the best managed sides, as well as Remo Stars. If I do say so myself, Remo Stars in the Nigeria Professional Football League, or Nigeria Premier Football League. They actually changed it this season. So this is the Sporting Lagos side in the second division of Nigerian Professional Football. They play in the NNL, Nigeria National League, and the management of the club is, excellent. It's amazing. I showed you their jerseys before we came on,
really nice.
And just the attention to detail, the videos they made to announce their partnership with Umbro. The pictures that we saw, crisp, clean pictures, the photo session, just some of these little things. And they have a new manager. They won their first game. They lost the second game, but they're playing at the Unicon Stadium, and the stadium looks really clean. It looks good.
They strike me as a club that actually care about how their fans feel and the community, the atmosphere. So, anybody will gravitate to, any football lover will gravitate towards that.
Most definitely. And that's one of the things that, maybe a little bit of a name drop here, friends with some of one of the founders of the club, and I understand how they're particular about changing the mindset of Nigerians about Nigerian football clubs.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do that by creating, a community around football, community around, people. And it's the atmosphere is just usually very, very interesting. And I'm plugging you guys onto this. On Sunday afternoons, you could go and watch Sporting Lagos. That's something to do with your Sunday afternoons,
Yeah, it's a good vibe. It's actually
very, very good vibes. Cocktails.
I know, right? They give us free cocktails.
Right? It's usually fun. So yeah, that's one thing that you can go out and support in Nigerian football, Nigerian National League, especially Sporting Lagos. Unfortunately, they did lose. They lost their second game on Tuesday, but you'd see that there's pretty good. There's one guy called Wisdom something. He's a very, very good player, very skillful, and interesting to watch. But enough about Sporting Lagos. Let's move on to the next segment and the last segment on the episode today. We've said it's going to be a very, very quick one. Hit or miss. So hit or miss for today, we're going to be ranking the January signings in the Premier League. Yes, do you think these signings have been a hit so far or a miss? This is 4 months or 3 months into, they're playing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to gauge your thoughts. And of course, it's out to the fans as well. You can drop it in the comment sections below what you think about the players that I'll be mentioning moving forward. Hit or miss. Mikhailo Mudryk. That's the first one. That's a very, very good place to start.
Miss.
Chelsea fans have been, I feel like Arsenal fans feel like they dodged a bullet in that one.
Yeah, I actually had high hopes for him when I saw him play. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I saw him play. I'm like, whoa! But it's been a miss. Bad miss.
Yeah, and you could have seen him play. He played on the same flank as Saka just yesterday. Was it the first day? England and Ukraine in their Euro qualifiers game. And he didn't come.
I think it's the pressure. I feel like he's really pressured because even when I saw him play, it's like he had the ideas, but the pressure gets him and he just overtouches it. And I've seen that happen to good players.
Okay, so what's the verdict? Mikhailo Mudryk?
Miss though.
Miss. Okay, great. Leandro Trossard, and this is a very, very good one because having missed out on Mudryk, Arsenal went to get Leandro Trossard from Brighton and Hove Albion, and by any account, I believe it's a hit.
It's a hit. Actually, I think we all kind of figured that would be a hit. When it happened, we were like, oh no.
Right,
how
Arsenal have
did
got
you
a very
do
good
that?
yeah.
It's a hit.
Yeah, definitely Leandro Trossard a hit in my books and in Yas's book. So that's a Sangaloo hit. Of course, put it in the comment sections below whatever what you think about these signings. Mudryk and Trossard, hit or miss. Moving on to the next one. Tottenham Hotspur. They signed a right back that can also play in left back. Pedro Porro. He scored 1 goal already this season. Do you think it's a hit or miss?
I don't think he has played enough, but to be fair, the little that I've seen of him is actually a hit. He's improved that side. They had Emerson Royale, Doherty that were trying on and off, but when I saw Pedro Porro play, he actually brought a lot. He felt like the Perisic of the other wing. So I think at the moment a hit, but Spurs are Spursy. So.
yeah, and I think Pedro Porro's signing was interesting as well because it was sort of what happened with Shaw. I saw it happen with Emerson Royale, right? When Shaw got competition in this Netherlands boy. Malacia, right? When Shaw had competition with Malacia, he sort of picked up. The same thing happened when he had competition with Alex Telles. His form picked up. And we saw that same thing happen with Emerson Royale. When Pedro Porro came into the squad, Emerson Royale's performances started to look better, and that's why Pedro Porro could not immediately just bounce him out of the side. But of course, I believe Pedro Porro has been a pretty good signing. He's been a very, very good attacking addition for Spurs. They tend to play many times with attacking wing backs. And Pedro Porro, I believe, is something of a hit. Yeah. Something of a hit.
I'll go for hit too.
Okay, so that's not a full Sangaloo hit. But of course, it's something of a hit. Let us know in the comment section what you think about that signing. Next one is one that's personally close to my heart, Wout Weghorst. Hit or miss?
Weghorst. I'm a Man United fan, so you know what it is. Weghorst is actually a hit.
I believe Weghorst is a hit. Yeah. I believe Weghorst is a hit because he was not brought in as a world beater. He was not brought in as a somebody that'll come and bag you like all the goals that you need in this season. He was brought in as a squad player. He was brought in as somebody who would not necessarily upset the balance of the squad, seeing as there's a Martial there who they were hoping he would come back from injury very quickly, and he'll be able to just displace Weghorst. So maybe Weghorst was sort of like a stopgap signing, but seeing as he was a stopgap signing, the way he plays for the squad, his additions to the squad, he's one of the best pressers in the league.
You know what?
so
To be
far.
honest, I expected a lot more goals from him, but I did not expect this much work rate. So it sort of balances itself out. When I watch him play, I'm like, this guy is everywhere, you know. So he's a great addition.
He's a great addition, in my opinion. I think it's a hit for Manchester United. Since he's come on, Rashford has enjoyed the best form of his life in a Manchester United jersey. So it's a win-win for all parties involved. So that's a Sangaloo hit, right? I know if Shopsy was there, if Shopsy was there, he would have had a different opinion. But of course, that's a big hit in my books. Let us know in the comment sections what you think about that signing. And moving on to the second to the last one, actually, Enzo Fernandez, signed by Chelsea. That is one player that, in fact, I can speak for Shopsy here. Shopsy highly rates Enzo Fernandez, as do many people in the world of football. Enzo Fernandez is one of those players who you believe has something. He just has that special something. For me, in my opinion, he's coming to that Chelsea midfield, fitting nicely. Even though Chelsea have their problems going on around him, but you can single Enzo out and say this is one player that has performed well. In my opinion, that's a hit. Yeah,
I think it's a hit because before he came in, you'd always look at Chelsea's midfield and be like, where's the attacking threat? Where's the creativity coming from? Now, from like the first game that Enzo played, you could see the creativity in it, and I've seen him give a couple assists, so it's definitely a hit. Okay, so that's a Sangaloo hit. I'm sure even if Shopsy was here, he would say exactly the same thing. That's a Sangaloo hit. But still on Chelsea, they let go of Jorginho and he moved on to Arsenal. Jorginho to Arsenal, January signing, hit or miss? I'm going to go for miss. I haven't seen him do anything really special to that Arsenal team. He hasn't really transformed them, although he did score a goal, a very important goal for one of those matches. So I mean, that could count as a great thing in terms of their title race and all, but he hasn't really, been amazing as well. So I'll just go for a miss. Yeah, so that's the thing. I won't go for a miss because the circumstances surrounding his signing is similar to what Vegas was for Manchester United, right? He was brought in to sort of allow Thomas Partey to have some rest, right? He was never. They didn't bring Jorginho in to come and displace Partey, right? He was brought in as sort of like a second fiddle, like a second option. But in that circumstance, in that context, I'll say he's been a pretty solid signing. Every time he's come on, he's done excellently well. He hasn't made mistakes, because the experience of Jorginho playing for Chelsea, talisman for Italy, even before he came to Chelsea, he was always a solid player. But for Arsenal, he has not come in and been a world beater, but he was never expected to be that. He has been a squad player, rotation. He has helped with rotation, and every time he was called on, he did excellently well, in my opinion. So of course, I'll say Jorginho, not necessarily a full-on hit, but also not a miss. Let us know in the comment sections what you think about Jorginho's signing by Arsenal and all the other signings that we mentioned: Mudryk, Trossard, Pedro Porro, Vegas, and Enzo Fernandez in the comment sections below. That will be an episode. Thank you very much, Yas, for coming on board. Shopsy decided to take an unannounced break, but he'll be back hopefully by the end of the week. When, of course, looking forward to the end of the week, there will be Premier League is back. This weekend wasn't the same,
right? Without Premier League football. Of course, let us know in the comment sections what you think moving forward to the weekend. We'll see you guys in the next one. For myself and Yas, peace.